and Jean, and they are with Christian Record Services for the Blind. And you always, every year, come and bring me this wonderful calendar. Oh, my goodness. I love this calendar. It is so great. I think I'm going to put it to this camera over here because I just like the way they do this calendar. We need someone over here to watch what I'm doing. Right here.
Uh-oh. Don't face it the other way. There
well,
you
John,
go.
I'll just give it to you. Okay, and then, as you can see, the calendar, see how it is? It's just...
Whatever's depicted in the picture is in the calendar.
Yeah, and it's like that for that month. For example, you can't see real close up, but let me get down here to... let's go down here to October. Like, there's our arrows in there. And this is Cottontails here. And this one here is September's. But I love all the beautiful pictures. But look at this one here. Is that the one with the pumpkins? No. September, October. Give me October. There I have all the pumpkins for the dates. So they just do different things. But isn't it beautiful? Now, Grant, can people get this calendar? You always bring it to me. Do they?
Well, we give them away to folks. We just ask for a donation of any kind. Generally, we ask $20 or more. We give them to our supporters, and you folks support us, so we give you calendars. And and our blind lady draws them. Remember, it's Mary McKinney.
Oh, this is a blind lady drawing.
That's right.
Now, how does she do that? She's blind.
She is what they call legally blind. She has a corrective lens in her good eye. It's 10/600. Which means that she has to put her face literally down on the page in order to draw those pictures. And she's been doing it since she was 11 years old.
Oh,
and her husband and children.
Good?
Picture on the back there of her husband and children. They're all growing.
There she is.
Go ahead and show them again.
There's the picture of her.
That's her family.
She's been doing it since she's 11 years old.
She started coming to Camp for the Blind since when she was 11.
Now, what on her particular case of what happened with her eyes?
She was born that way.
Oh, really?
And she has a degenerative condition in her eye, which is in remission at this time, but it's like she's almost totally blind. She just sees a very little bit.
Well, their calendars are beautiful, and if you say somebody would like to buy a calendar from you, how do they reach you?
Well, they just send a donation to my post office box 731, New Ellington, South Carolina, to Christian Record Services, and ask for the calendar. We'll send them one.
And you'll send it to them.
I will.
I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite calendars every year I get, and to think that the lady, her face is absolutely here to draw it. I just can't imagine it. She also does the greeting cards. Now, on the greeting cards, again, people can buy the greeting
cards?
I
give those to folks that help me out. I just write little thank you notes on them, and some people will donate and say, can I have some greeting cards, and I'll give them some, but we generally, I just show those to you to show you her artwork.
Oh, her work is absolutely
really nice.
wonderful.
But those are generally just given to folks as a thank you. But if people request them and send a donation.
Has she done like real big portraits before or not?
She just does these. Her basic thing is motivation. She comes to camp, and I suppose she does work with the arts and crafts, and she has won several awards for her water skiing.
Oh.
She's an athlete, too.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, now, how does she know on the water skiing?
Faith.
She can't see.
Faith. Faith.
Well, and also feeling.
Yes.
She has to be, feeling when she knows when the water's affecting and everything.
She would have much faith in the person pulling her with the boat.
Yes.
That he's not going to drive her into into a tree or something, or rocks. So she's gained her sea legs, shall we say, by standing up on the skis, and she can do it very well. She also goes to winter camp and skis downhill as well.
Now, you also brought you tonight, Grant, I love the little God and Joseph.
And me.
And me. God, Joseph, and me book. But this here is, see, you can feel the braille right here. But when I turn the page, the braille is also here. All through here. Isn't that something they can have it one sheet like that, and then
the one sheet has the Braille
on both sides. And so as you read the book to the child that's blind, they can go along with the Braille.
Well, actually, you got it sort of backwards. The mother who is blind can read to the sighted child, and the sighted child can follow along with the words and pictures. That's how it's done. So the blind mother
can still read children.
She can read that book to her sighted child and teach that child how to read and teach them godly lessons as well. These are about morality and such things, teaching them to be honest and such things. And there's the words and the pictures, and the mother reads the Braille. She can't see what the child is seeing and looking at, and the child can learn to read by a blind parent.
That is amazing. So it just goes on and on with the different things. But what I think really got me is when you handed me this book.
Now, can I ask you a question while we're talking about how this is done, or even in this book? How hard is it to learn Braille as far as the bumps and everything? Because us just doing it, I think that's just a bunch of bumps there.
It's extremely difficult, and if you lose your sight in later years, it's almost impossible. But if you're born without sight, or you lose your eyesight in a younger age, it's easier for you to learn. Although I do know a gentleman in Aiken who lost his sight when he was elderly, and he can read Braille. He was a Second World War veteran, and he can do it, but it's...
I don't even know how you'd even go about feeling the bumps, because it just feels like it's just all bumpy here. I mean, I know that there are spaces there and stuff, but you have to be so sensitive to just the gaps that are in between the bumps.
Exactly.
To pick up on that.
You have to have a very light touch, and to discern what configuration this bump is, how the 2 or 3 under your finger, in what direction they're heading and facing.
I know.
It's amazing how they can do it, but they can, and they do.
Now, this here, let me show you this. This is the book of Isaiah. Just the book of Isaiah is this big. Look at my whole Bible. Now, there's a lot thinner Bibles than this, but there's my Bible, the whole Bible, and this is the book of Isaiah. And look at the pages. They're all Braille.
Yeah, all those.
Dorothy, for a blind person to receive one of these, they cost over $680 for one Bible. 17 volumes, weighs about 60 pounds, and unless you're Stevie Wonder, you wouldn't be able to afford that. But we generous donors help us purchase those for the blind free of charge. That's what it's all about.
Wow. So this ministry that you have is a ministry where people can give to help the blind.
Help the blind see Jesus through our publications, through our tapes, through our books. Even the nursing homes, most of the nursing homes in this area get this Life Glow giant print magazine on a regular basis. Who have poor eyesight, visually impaired. Also, if they can't read Braille or they can't see enough to read large print, we have it all on tape. And so they audio tape as well.
That's just amazing how they can train themselves to read these bumps. It's just amazing.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And they're both sides of the page.
Right.
That's amazing too. Why one side it doesn't affect the other side.
Yeah. That's right, and it's double-sided, and it's done.
Probably double paper, Dorothy, for each.
No,
right?
No,
paper?
Piece of paper.
No?
They have learned how to do it with computers, so that they can. So one dot intersects another dot, and so that's amazing too. They used to be just one-sided. Now it's two-sided.
Two-sided. And
wow.
If you would like to ever help a blind person receive a whole set of these books, it's $600 and what?
$684 for one Bible. We do have folks in the Augusta area that do buy these for the blind, and we could always use more.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I can't imagine being blind and then not being able to read the Word of God. I mean, this is my life source, and so it's very important.
Well, we help the blind see Jesus, and so can you, and so can everybody else. And with the books, of course, the camps, the national camps for blind children. That's another thing.
I think we're going to go to a video right now of a national David's story, I think.
David's Leap, yeah.
David's Leap. And it's a little story of the blind at the camp.
That's right.
Right? Does she have that ready? Let's go to it.
I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to jump no matter what. I'm not backing down. I've already said it, and I'm going to do it. My name is David Gray, and I'm 12 years old. I've been blind almost all of my life, ever since 9 months. I first heard about the camp from a person named Sonny Wilmoth. He came to the Tennessee School for the Blind, where I take my schooling, and he introduced the camp to us.
Well, my name is Sonny Wilmoth with Christian Record Services. I'm the area representative for Middle Tennessee. He was at that time about 9 years old. This was about 4 years ago. He was very confident and very outgoing, very talkative. And when he heard about camp, he was very excited about wanting to come to camp.
When I first heard about the camp, I thought, well, this would be pretty cool. There were two goals that I wanted to achieve, and that was to water ski and to jump off the high dive at the pool.
My name is Jenny Panos, and I am on the ski staff here at Indian Creek Camp. He was really nervous before he got in the boat because he thought, I can't do it, you know, and I can't see the water, and my arms aren't strong enough, and he was really afraid to get in the water. My name is Julie Riggs. I am ski staff here at Indian Creek Camp. We got him in the boat, and he was really scared of the water, just the whole environment of being in the boat. It's, you know, kind of adrenaline rush because you're just kind of stepping out there on a limb, you know. You're in water somewhere, you know, you don't really know. You're just listening to someone and putting all your faith and trust in them. And so I just talked to him and told him, you know, to put on the skis, and I was going to be right there with him. And then I took him around to the edge of the boat to hang on to the boom. He was really worried about the whole thing and not too sure about what was going on, but he trusted me to know that if he did what I said, that he would be able to get up.
I had the faith, and I put the boom on a death grip, and when they began accelerating, they told me to stand up, and the skis began playing over the water.
And next thing you knew, he found himself skiing right there, and so he started yelling and screaming. He was really excited. It was like no problem at all. We were so proud of him. He did a really great job. He looked like a natural out there.
The feeling of Helen doing it was really great. I just felt so happy.
And when he got back in the boat, he's like, I've accomplished my goal. I've done it. And it is so exciting for all of them. I can't even describe the look on their faces. All of a sudden, their realm of what they can do, it's bigger now after you've helped them get up, and it's so exciting, and it's very rewarding.
The water skiing was a piece of cake compared to what I had to do when I jumped off the high dive. My friend Zach, he kept jumping off the high dive and making all these big waves and splashes and moves and jumps off the high dive. And I said, man, I want to do this. This is like so cool. One day I should do this.
My name is Jamie Sutton, and I'm a counselor in training. It's called CIT here at Indian Creek Camp. All of a sudden, like out of the blue, he asked me, like, is the high dive hard? And apparently it's something he's been wanting to do for a long time.
I walked out to the edge, and of course I can't see, so I can't see how high we're actually off the ground. And I asked, all right, how many feet up? Oh, about 12. Oh my goodness. and they said, "You can do it. Go ahead, you can do it." And finally, I jumped. And it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. It was like, hey, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. And I was just really, really, really happy.
By the campers coming to camp here, they get to do a lot of things that they wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity or facilities to do at home. You know, things like horseback riding and water skiing. You know, not everyone has that stuff available to them. And we can show them that it is possible to do that stuff. And so do they not only realize, you know, physically there's a lot of things they can do, but it also relates to them back in their lives when they go back home. They realize that a lot of things are possible.
David's really grown. Every year he's always wanted to experience new things, and each year he seems to have grown spiritually.
David, my camper, had asked earlier to talk to me in private, and we were doing our cabin worship, and he asked me a question about Jesus, and you know, I answered it, and it was about, you know, the plan of salvation.
They really believe what they say, and it's helped me out a great deal. I'm beginning to see more and more of the truth of God.
Last night after the Friday night program, David came to me. He said, "I just want to tell you I want to get baptized tomorrow." And I was so excited about that. It's just, I've never had anybody be really excited about getting baptized. And I said, "Well, I'm so proud of you. I'm really happy for you." And he's, "I knew you would be. That's why I wanted to come and find you. I want to tell you all about it."
Jesus died, so in Christ we died to sin.
My family does not go to church hardly at all, except on Easter and Christmas. And coming here is like a base for me.
Even though David didn't get baptized, because the camp wanted to make sure he was fully prepared before he made this big decision in his life, I hope that he will continue to study and get to know Jesus better, and maybe even get baptized here at camp next year. Blind camp is definitely the hardest but the most rewarding camp. I've said that all the years that I've ever worked here. It's amazing to us. It's just such a great feeling to be able to open up a world to people that they've never seen before. When I help a camper accomplish something that they've wanted to do, I feel that that's the whole reason I'm here at camp, and I've accomplished my goal for the summer, to help somebody else and to influence their lives in some way.
It's just a great pleasure to be able to help someone out. You know, it just makes me feel so good inside to know I'm helping these kids maybe be better people.
Christian Record Services sponsors 27 camps for the blind across the United States and Canada. You can be sure that there is a national camps for blind children near just about every major population center. What you have just seen in David's Leap is a perfect example of how Christian Record Services helps a blind person achieve their goals. Their everyday goals of water skiing and diving off a high dive, and the great spiritual goal of meeting Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. We have been doing this for blind people for more than 100 years now, starting with Braille, moving on to talking books and then magazines, adding the large print publications, the full vision books, Spanish work. It's been expanding and growing. And all is because of the faithful donors that makes it all possible. Most importantly, we want to see that David can come back to camp again next year. We want to thank the donors for making all of this ministry to the blind possible.
I would like to say to the donors that donate money for this camp experience that you have changed my life in a great way. I wish there was another way I could repay you, but just telling you I think would be all I can do at this time. When I go home from camp, I'm probably going to tell my family and friends about what happened here. If I ever get a chance to come back, I would encourage them to come and watch, because sometimes a lot of people get scared of jumping off of heights. It might be inspiring to some people to see a person that is visually impaired to just jump off of it without being afraid.
Wow. Isn't that great? Russell, I want to tell you something. We don't have a clue what these little kids go through, but they have this wonderful camp, and you can be a part of that. Can they help?
Yes, they can.
Yeah. So you can be a part of that by helping, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But
Dorothy, also that most kids that can see don't want to jump off the diving board or do the water skiing or nothing. If they can see and hear, he's like, I want to be challenged and I want to do it. And that was so great, inspirational. Hey, in over 100 years that these people have been doing this. So, of course, we'll give you information in the phone room. If you'd like to, you'll get the phone number there on the screen. They'll tell you how to get a hold of these people and the ministry. And then you can start participating and finding out, anything about being a part of the camps, being a part of anything. So you stay tuned. We're going to go to a song, and we'll be right back.